bringing Khonshu to life, the cosplay itself, the build itself? Like, how did you go about that from the general idea to if you did anything yourself to having makers or creators that you had help from? Like, what's the process of creating your Khonshu cosplay? Because this thing is phenomenal, man.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was, it was definitely a team effort. My first step was to tackle how to go about making that giant head. I ended up settling on 3D printing. Okay. Is how that was made. So I found a 3D file. Up till then, I was like, I don't know if this will work. I don't know the size of this thing. Mm-hmm. Like, if I put it on, am I going to be, is it going to carry my head forward the entire time?
Yeah, so too heavy in the front. Yeah, front heavy.
Yeah, because some of the files that they had for this helmet, they had like a whole counter balance measure in the back, like a counterweight that you had to wear for it to bring it up. But but we sized it down really good, and then.
For anybody else, because it's about maybe 5 seconds into the show and I'm already sweating. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Side Project Podcast. Yes! You know it. Let's take a sip from our Run It Up mugs. I need that today because I'm literally dying. I'm probably going to drink a lot throughout this episode. It's so hot. I don't know what it is for everybody else out there right now, but it's like 91 degrees for me. I've got no fans on, no AC on because I don't like the hum that it creates for the audio and everything. So I'm dying over here. I'm literally dying over here. If I start getting more red, like the red on the Run It Up tee here, excuse me. I'm gonna be, it's Texas hot. It's California hot. That kind of puts it out there, right? I'm dying over here. It's crazy. That sip. I'm so hot. I can't even think about what I'm going to plug right now. I don't even know what's going on. It's so hot. That sip from my Run It Up mug was absolutely amazing. Just like my Run It Up tea. Absolutely amazing. And the Project Park mug and the Project Things mug that you can get on the Side Project merch store right about now via sideprojectpodcast.com. That's right. About 4 years in, I finally bought the .com. I always thought, like, what's the point? You know what I mean? I always thought, like, what's the point, dude? We've got Instagram nowadays. We got TikTok nowadays. Like, everything's right there. Put everything in like a link in bio or like a link tree, you know what I mean? And just, go to the link in bio and click the Side Project merch tab and there you are. You're at the merch tab, right? I mean, you're at the merch store, right? But hey, you know what? Things are developing here, all right? Charlie talked me into it. We got it. And now it's sideprojectpodcast.com for everything. Right when you go there, it's actually really cool. If nobody's ever seen the new merch store, it's got sideprojectpodcast.com takes you directly to the merch first, doing things differently here. And then if you scroll all the way down, you'll see like, I don't remember what it is, but it's like the first couple posts on Instagram, and I think it's YouTube first. Actually, it's like if you scroll all the way down past the merch, and then it's like the first 6 most recent videos on YouTube, and you scroll down again, and I think it's like a couple posts from the Instagram. So it's literally everything. It's a one-stop shop. The Side Project merch store, sideproject.com. Remember, that's Project with a K, where you can get the Run It Up mugs. And we got new mugs, though. You can get this Run It Up mug with a red handle if you want it. I mean, we are stepping things up. And the inside, too. The inside could be red, or it could be black, like the Project Park mug, right? The black on the outside there. You can put black on the inside. You can put a black... mirror images, you know what I mean? I'm looking at the monitor. Black handle as well. And then the Project Things mug are now in all black. Oh my God. I know, right? People are freaking out. Dogs are barking. Birds are chirping. I heard an owl in the distance. What is the owl doing in the daytime? I don't know, but it's out. It's like, ooh, gotta get one. Ooh. You can get all kinds of stuff. The Run It Up tees are up there. We got shorts up there. I'm actually rocking one of the shorts right now. Let's see if I can show you guys. There it is. Look at Wait, gotta show you my knee. We're getting really weird in the beginning of this episode. The Project Park fleece shorts. I'm rocking those right now because it's hot as ever. And then also the Project, I just wanna, in case nobody's realized, you can get the Project Hub merch right now. And when you rock this merch, it's really weird because anytime you grab the merch, right when it goes over your head, this weird music plays. It's so weird. There it is. It's so weird. Every time you rock it, whether it's a tee, whether it's a hoodie, nobody's rocking hoodies right now though. What's going on with the focus on me? Trying to focus on Spawn in the background there. Focus on me. You put the hoodie on, you put the tee on, you put the tank on of the Project Hub merch, and this weird song plays every time you wear it. I don't know where it's from. Side Project merch, sideprojectpodcast.com, Side Project with a K. But anyway, Let's get to the bread and the butter of this week's episode because my guest this week is a published cosplayer making waves in the community, bringing some of our favorite characters from Marvel and DC Comics to life in a greatly done way. A previous cosplay of the week here on the show for his iteration of Batman, his Magneto, alongside his Spider-Man. Speaking of, his Batman, a rendition of Bale's Dark Knight, something that you don't see as often these days, done perfectly and perfected further in an edit by Pixel Lens that's so well done that it looks as if it's not an edit at all. Magneto is right, and so is this rendition as the Fleming Photos helps take this cosplay to the next level. His Spidey symbiote chaotically attached. Previous cosplay of the week, Amazon Daniela as Silk with an edit by Pixel Lens. Once again, these are just a few of the amazingness that comes out of this week's guest. So, without further ado, let's put our hands together and give a warm welcome to JCW Cosplay!
Wow, thank you so much.
How's it going, man?
Good, I'm doing great. I'm with your intro, talking about sweating. I'll be sweating right there with you, man. It's
dude.
It's hot as heck down here in Texas.
Yes.
So I'm right there. So if I get sweat from my forehead, which that's commonly what happens to me, I think all my sweat glands from my pits have been surgically removed and placed up here. So I feel you, man. So I'll be grabbing a towel here soon. But
yeah, dude, exactly. I start getting red. My face starts getting red, and you can't. I don't know if you can really tell because I got like a red light on this side and I got a blue light on this side, and then the key lights that are lighting me up here. But I think you can kind of tell the red if you're watching. You can see the red, but you'll start seeing the blue side getting a little bit more red than usual as well. It's hot as hell, man. I can't stand it, dude. You're out there in Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm out here in DFW. I kind of claim Dallas, but I don't because I live more in Fort Worth. Dallas and Fort Worth, we got some beef, but it's all good.
Yeah.
DFW is where it's at.
So you're super used to the heat, man. What's it been this week?
This week has been mid 90s. We got a little break yesterday, some sudden rain, and that dropped it down to like 70s and stuff. But
I wish.
It's going to get 100, 110 consistently, and it's AC all the way. Otherwise you die. So.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's been hot as hell here. High 80s, mid 90s, and I think it's going to be like high 80s this next coming few days, and then starting next week, I think it's back up to like the high 90s again, man. So it's going to be a rough couple weeks, dude. But aside from that, man, I want to talk to you about all kinds of stuff, dude. I'm stoked to have you here. Let's dive into it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm super stoked. Let's go.
Let's do the damn thing, man. A lot of what you've been posting lately on Instagram, dude, it consists of cosplays and the likes of like your Dark Knight Batman, your Magneto, definitely at the top of the list at the moment. But you've also got this awesomeness that is your Gambit, for instance, your Shang-Chi, for instance, your incredible Khonshu, just to name a few. But with over 600 posts on Instagram and doing a good old Projekt deep dive in 2018, you posted a couple throwback shots. One of you as Jack Skellington in 2007, Tony Stark from 2016, but these are labeled as Halloween posts. And then in 2017, it seems that you started work on a Spider-Man homemade suit that you kind of built yourself, I believe, which it's then, I think, around that time, you kind of start to see your cosplay journey begin much more cosplays, more cons, and etc. And everyone has like this story on how they got into cosplay, why they got into cosplay, what their first true cosplay was. And I'm curious what that buildup for you was, the whys, the hows, and the wins of what led into the JCW cosplay that we know today.
So I think for me, it's I've always been interested in excited about Halloween. That's one of my favorite holidays.
Right.
I think a lot of us cosplayers, that's how we start. Is Halloween makes it socially acceptable to dress up once a year.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of my early stuff was just random Halloween things that I throw together.
Yeah.
And then around 2016, that's when I attended my first convention. It was here in Dallas. It was called Nerd Year's Eve. I think it was a one and done.
Really? Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It was not run very well from what I heard. So
yeah.
But it was a great first experience for me. So, and I got into it kind of late. So 2016, dating myself now, but I'm 40 right now, so I didn't get into it until I was early 30s for cosplay. But that first con that I went to, I knew Stan Lee was going to be there, so I was like, all right, I got to do something Marvel related.
Right.
And not having much skill into building my own stuff and not knowing resource-wise where to go to buy stuff and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I'll just find some random Iron Man kind of gauntlet hand pattern online, see what I can do with it. couple weeks of work on that, and then it turned out to be, looking back, it's pretty crude, but I'm still very proud. That was my first baby. That was my first kind of hand built thing, right? You always cherish that. I still have it somewhere in this room, in the back closet somewhere.
Oh, that's cool. Memories.
Memories, exactly, right? So it's like if you have a business and you make that first dollar, you frame it, and you put it on the wall, right? So
exactly.
I should probably frame that Iron Man hand and put it somewhere, right? So
exactly.
But that was my first jump into it, and it was just so interesting going to the con. I was very apprehensive at first because I was a little shy about it. I was like, I don't know how people will kind of perceive me and stuff like that. But just bumping into local cosplayers here in DFW, and they were all super nice, super welcoming. Just made it a very easy transition into this hobby. And no one made fun of me for my drawn-on beard because I can't grow a beard. Like, I'm jealous of your beard, Chazzy. Like, that's amazing.
Thank you, man.
I got nothing. I got a mustache and a goatee a little bit. That's it. But so I had to draw on my Tony Stark beard and whatnot. But it's
part of the cosplay, man. It's part of cosplay.
That's all part of it, right? So.
You said that you knew that Stan Lee was going to be there. I see that you met a bunch of people and everything. Did you get the opportunity to talk to Stan?
Not too much. More like, hey, hello, sir. I appreciate everything you've done. Like, I really look up to you. And because it was one of those photo ops where they bring you in, 2-3 seconds, take a shot, and then they usher you right out. Next person. Yeah. But it was still amazing. So
that's cool. You got to meet him though before he passed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool. So, I never got the chance to meet him, man. I was always, as a lot of us are, a huge fan. You know what I mean? Just major respect. Like, that guy just sidebar, dude. Just his mind to create all of these things that we all love. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not just him. It was a lot of others as well. But I'm saying he was the pillar of it all. Yeah. And it's just crazy, man. He was somebody that I don't get too like, oh my God, with celebrities. That's just not the kind of person I am. And everybody's different. There's no wrong or right. But Stan Lee is one that I would have been like, oh man, like, wow, dude, like my childhood. This guy like molded a lot of my childhood. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
That would have been really cool, man. But you said that was in 2016, 17?
2016. That was end of 2016.
Nice.
So that kind of gave me the cosplay bug. And then I started just looking more on just YouTube videos, different, like, I'm not sure if Odin Makes was out at the time, but he's someone that I've really, looked up to in terms of how he builds stuff and then how he makes things. And then, so from there, my next build, like you said, was a homemade Spidey suit. Yeah. Because I had seen that the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie was coming out. Right. And they had released a couple pictures of what this homemade suit would look like. And I was like, I think I can kind of tackle that. So, that was kind of my next project as far as building a little bit more than just a glove. Yeah. I learned a bunch of stuff from that. I think takeaway was never base your cosplay off of promotional toy items, because the symbol on the suit and everything that I got from that picture was not what the final product looked like.
Oh, so. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Building that I think that might have been for Dallas Fan Expo in 2017. Nice. So once again, going to that and then having done a couple more cosplays like the Gambit, like you said, and met some more cosplayers in the area and just started building up a group of people that I could hang out with. Right. Just because, as an older cosplayer and as an older person, sometimes it's hard to make new friends, right?
Yes, exactly.
We go to work, we have work friends and whatnot, but they're not really,
they're not friends.
Exactly. So
somebody from your work's going to be watching this and be like, God, I thought it was his friend. God damn it. They're going to be like,
sorry about that.
God damn it, Jimmy. I guess. All right, forget it.
Right. If you don't cosplay, you're not my friend. So that's
exactly.
That's it. So to be able to be around like-minded people and share the same interests, that was very eye-opening for me. Because I think going back to when I was younger, like the whole cosplay thing and dressing up thing, like when I was growing up, X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, those were the cartoons I grew up with. Yeah. But you watch them as kids, and then as you get a little bit older, it was kind of frowned upon if you still were into that stuff.
Right.
Anime wasn't that big in terms of mainstream back then as well. Nowadays, you got pro football players watching anime, and you're not saying crap to them. You're not making fun of them for watching anime, right?
Exactly. And now you've got mainstream studios turning anime into live action. Now it's mainstream as well.
Exactly. So I think just with the changing of the times, it helped me feel a little bit more comfortable in my own skin. Yeah. And that's what cosplay has really done for me and started to do even back in 2016. So.
Yeah. Nice, man. And just domino effect, kept going and kept going and kept going, which brings me to this. And forgive me on the buildup for this, because it might be a little bit long, but it's going to be worth it, because I want to break a few things down here real quick for everybody watching. Something that I don't know that if you've done purposely or not, or if it just so happens to unfold this way, but is cosplaying characters that you don't often see, or if it's not the character specifically, it's the version or the specific suit, such as something like your in-game rendition of Ant-Man. Also playing with perspective here with some of these shots as well. Kudos to the photographers, man. And Ant-Man is not necessarily something that you never see, but you don't see as often, I would say, in my opinion. And you don't see this version as often as well. And then on the DC side of things, your Green Lantern, your Tai Pham Green Lantern, a rendition that many may not even be aware of, a protector of Coast City, one of the youngest Green Lanterns to exist, debuting in 2020 in Green Lantern Legacy. And then moon knighting back over to Marvel, you have your absolutely incredible Khonshu, whereas you see many cosplaying Moon Knight himself, Mr. Knight as well, all taking a higher appearance rate since the D+ series. We have you here as Khonshu instead, the god of the moon, whom guides Mark Spector, his modern day avatar within Moon Knight. And this is incredible, man. Like, this is absolutely amazing. And I want a little bit more insight on the Khonshu cosplay itself. But before we do that, I want to circle back to the way that you go about choosing a cosplay generally, and with these specific examples as well. Are you choosing purposely to be different characters, or characters you don't often see? Or are you aiming to do different versions of those characters? Or is this just kind of the way the cards ended up being dealt at random?
I feel like it's a combination of a little bit of everything that you just brought up. So starting with the Ant-Man, I think it was, Avengers Endgame and all that. That's my favorite Marvel movie, and it's just culmination of years of buildup, of course. So wanting to do something from that, and might have been like a little time crunch for me as well too, trying to get it ready for the next con. So I didn't feel like doing a somewhat bigger build. So it was more of an opportunity thing, because I saw that the Ant-Man helmet, because that Ant-Man helmet is whatever the Marvel Legends series that they sell. Yeah. And it was on sale for a really good price. So I was like, all right, I'll buy it, and then I'll kind of plan my cosplay out from there.
Nice.
So taking a look at that, I was like, well, those Quantum Realm suits are pretty neat. So I found one for relatively cheap. And then with most of my cosplays, I want to try to build something along with it. There's just a goal of mine is to be able to be hands-on with my cosplays. Nothing wrong with buying cosplays, because I do that a lot as well too. But just being able to kind of push myself a little bit and see what I can actually make. And sometimes it's not always successful, but at least it's experience. So the belt, I found a template online, and I just went to it and started making it, and it turned out pretty decently. And then so with that build, it was more a combination of right time, right place with sale, and then just wanting to do a version that was a little bit faster to be able to get out for the con as well.
Nice. Okay.
And then for Tai Pham, I stumbled upon that comic somehow. I think I'm always interested in Asian representation, or just representation for minorities in cosplay, in comics and whatnot. So when that comic came across my feed, I was like, all right, I got to check this out. So I bought it, went through it. It is geared for more kind of younger audience wise.
I think he's like 13 in the comic, right? Yeah, he's like a young kid. Yeah.
And I still get that to this day when I shave my face. Like, are you old enough to be working? Like, I need to see your card before you buy this alcohol. It's like, dude, I'm 40. Exactly. It's like, how old do you think I am? So I thought that was fitting. I could cosplay someone a little bit younger than me. Yeah, definitely. But that was one that was more born out of, I want to do this character justice, because like you said, he's not very well known, even now, right? It's been 4 years or whatnot since he was introduced. And I think he's appeared in one more offshoot comic and whatnot, kind of standalone comic. Right. But he's not very mainstream in terms of the Green Lanterns out there. So I commissioned a cosplay maker. I think her IG handle is Cosplay Mandy. I think she's overseas in China. And I gave her the reference pics, I gave her measurements, I gave her my kind of ideas for the actual suit. And she was able to kind of put that into reality, and I'm super happy with it. So
yeah, that came together cool. That's one that I really like as well, because just for the simple fact that you don't see it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's really cool. It's kind of like a unique thing. Like I've never seen anybody, maybe there's people out there. I obviously don't know every cosplayer in the world, but I'm saying I've never seen it. And it's kind of cool that you have something that's like unique to you and you did something outside of the box. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to Green Lantern, because I think there's usually like the main 2 Green Lanterns within the cosplay community that everybody does. You know what I mean?
Guy Gardner, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the female, the female ones, you got to kind of got like, again, and maybe like a 1 or 2 of the female ones. And then it's always cool to see a cosplayer do something that's like totally outside the box. And then also something like this will bring to light, like maybe there's somebody out there that's like, whoa, I've never even heard of Tai Pham, or someone that's like, whether they're going to cosplay or they're into comics. And then maybe you're that person that kind of turned them on to it. And now they're like, oh damn, I'm going to go check this out. You know what I mean? And it happened because they stumbled upon your cosplay. I always think that's cool, man.
Yeah. I think, with the more obscure characters, they need the love too, right? I mean, they all have their interesting kind of backstories and characteristics, and I think sometimes we get overly concerned with what's popular, and I'm going to cosplay this character because they're real hot right now, or and that's completely fine because do what you like, do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think some of these more obscure characters definitely do need some love too, and
exactly. I agree.
With my Tai Pham, I'm still not really finished with them. I still need to work on some stuff to make them even better. But hopefully once I know they're making like a Green Lantern TV show.
I think so. I think they're still doing it. Yeah, I believe it's still happening. Yeah,
something like that. So hopefully when that comes out, I can get this truly ready for that and go from there. But
yeah, definitely.
It's so this one was more. I think this one was more. Yeah, it was unique, but also the representation side really drew me to this character. Just not having a lot of Asian characters to portray in the comics. Yeah. It was nice to be able to finally do one where I didn't have to cover my face, right? Like I could do a Spidey, and that's fine because I got my face covered. So but for Tai Pham, it was nice to be just out there and be like, this is who the character is. I kind of look like him. Let's do it. So
yeah, definitely, 100%, man. And then when it comes to like Khonshu, I mean, let's also talk about Khonshu itself. Like when it comes to bringing Khonshu to life, the cosplay itself, the build itself. Like, how did you go about that? From the general idea to if you did anything yourself to having makers or creators that you had help from. Like, what's the process of creating your Khonshu cosplay? Because this thing is phenomenal, man.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. It was definitely a team effort. I think when Moon Knight, the TV series, came out, I binged it like most people did, and really liked the show, and just liked how Khonshu was portrayed and how menacing and how powerful he was and everything. Yeah. This was another build where I was like, all right, I want to try to do it. There's a deadline for me because I want to try to get it out it was another fan expo here in Dallas. And my first step was to tackle how to go about making that giant head. It's something that I guess you can do. I looked into using EVA foam, but I ended up settling on 3D printing. Is how that was made. So I found a 3D file. I can't remember where I found it exactly, but then I commissioned a local cosplayer here in Dallas, Kilcade.
I think I have it right here, actually. B Star 3D print props, I believe.
That's right. Okay, so that's where the file's from. Appreciate that. That was clutch. Yeah. That was clutch. So, I should have done my research better.
No, you're good. You're good. That's what I'm here for.
There you go. You got my back, Joe. Love it. So Kilkay was the one that actually printed it, and he had to print it in 3 different sections because of how giant it is. And then,
I was gonna say, like,
all together.
Printing that, dude. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have a giant printer, like, that's what I was gonna say. I'm glad you covered that because that's crazy, man. My bad. Keep going.
Oh no, you're good. So yeah, that took a good amount of time, and but once it was done, and the moment I saw it in person and put it on, I was like, this is it. And like, this will definitely work. Because up till then, I was like, I don't know if this will work. I don't know the size of this thing. Like, if I put it on, am I going to be, is it going to carry my head forward the entire time?
Yeah, so too heavy in the front. Yeah, front heavy.
Yeah. Because some of the files that they had for this helmet, they had like a whole counter balance measure in the back, like a counterweight that you had to wear for it to bring it up. But but we sized it down really good. And then the rest of the cosplay, I ended up building the gauntlets. Those pretty standard gauntlets, and just did that with EVA foam. I built a staff out of PVC pipe, wrapped it in some, I think, like sports tape and gauze and whatnot to get that bandage effect. And then the rest of the costume, I kind of sourced from different areas, like Etsy for like the shirt and pants for the mummy look. Yeah. I think I took a pair of old gloves and old boots that I had, and once again did some sports taping around them for that bandaged muddy look as well.
Creative, dude. Creative.
So, and then Had a little black mask underneath to hide my face when I put the helmet on and whatnot, just to complete the look. But
yeah, greatly done, dude. I mean, creative. Some of these things are like the simplest things, and it looks so amazing. Like the gloves, for instance, you know what I mean? And then even like the gauntlets, like you said, are kind of just your typical gauntlets and everything, but just phenomenal, dude. And then the way that you have like the edits going, kudos to all the editors, like this one that's shot and edited by Bane Grimm Photo, where you guys get rid of the neck, right? In the edits.
Yeah.
Oh man, amazing, dude. Like just attention to detail, like so perfect. I love it, man. And then even in like the shots where I don't know if you got rid of the neck or not, or if it's just like dark, whether it's just dark and then you're wearing the black or everything, great photo work. Great kudos to you with the black on the neck and everything too. It just comes out perfectly, man. And some of these shots are just phenomenal, dude. And they're all being thrown up on the screen while I'm talking. So shout out to every single photographer and editor that you've worked with your Khonshu that I didn't name specifically. This is phenomenal, man. And then this other one too, with you standing, what looks like it may be at a con, photo and edit by, oh God, I'm going to butcher this name, man. Marine Ritzvey? Marine Ritzvey, maybe?
You got it.
I got it. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I think she goes by Marine_snaps now. Is her updated account?
Okay, I didn't click on it, so I didn't know. In editing, I'll fix it, of course. But great, like with the back when you can see the cape and you're holding the staff and everything, and the head's turned to the side, and then the neck is gone. Like it's amazing, dude. And then the same thing with the close-up shot by Scott Fisher 79, and you can just see the just the detail in the mask and everything, dude. It's just, I mean, job well done. Kudos to everybody, dude. This is amazing. And like I said, in a time where you see a lot of like Moon Knight, you see a lot of Mr. Knight, it's awesome to see like a Khonshu brought to life in this way, dude. And it's cool that it's like not just an edit. You can actually go to like a con with it physically. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's cool. Does that draw a lot of attention at cons?
It did, yeah. That Fan Expo, it was because I was running around with I think there was a Moon Knight I was with, Mr. Knight, and then a Scarlet Scarab as well too. So
nice,
yeah, definitely got a lot of attention. Just as a group like that. It's always fun to have group cosplays come together and you can kind of form all that. One thing I do, I've seen some really amazing Khonshus out there that blow mine out of the water because they are up on stilts. So they actually embody how tall.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, I top out at 5'10", so I'm not really the tallest dude out there, but maybe one day I'll get on stilts. But it's pretty amazing what others have done and kind of run with it and just make it that much more physically impressive as well too, because it's literally towering over you, right?
Yeah,
so.
It is very impressive, man. That'd be crazy to see you pull that off because I think personally, and I forgive me if I'm biased, but like I think your Khonshu cosplay is one of the best that I've seen, man. I really do, and I really enjoy it as a fan of Moon Knight and everything. Not even just the D+ series, just the whole lore and everything itself. And I'm just like I love like gods and stuff like that too. I'm a big fan of like Norse mythology and Greek mythology and Roman mythology and like all that kind of stuff too, and like just and Egyptian stuff as well. Like I'm just a huge fan of all that stuff. So it hits me in my feels, man. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, dude. Like I wish that was me. Job well done, dude. And kudos to everybody involved, man. From the photographers to the makers to the editors, man. I'm a big fan of that one. I got so much more that I want to talk to you about, dude. But before we do that, let's break up the monotony and let's get into this week's Cosplay of the Week. Oh! And this week's Cosplay of the Week is a previous, not San Diego Comic-Con. I almost said San Diego Comic-Con. A previous New York Comic-Con Projekt panelist, and it's none other than Seattle's Beauty. And I'm throwing it up on the screen right about now. And this is of her Punisher. And this is phenomenal, man. And Sarah, Seattle's Beauty, when you were on we did a panel at New York Comic Con. We did a side project panel. The very first cosplay content creation panel was at New York Comic Con last year. And then the second cosplay content and creation panel was at Cosplay World Con this year. And this is amazing. I told you at the panel how much that I loved your Punisher. I think it's an awesome rendition. I just love everything about it. It's super, it's like that comic accuracy as well. Like you've got the big skull on the chest. You got the gloves, the boots, the white on the thigh there, the white belt. I mean, I dig it. And then talk about like attention to detail with the suit being ripped up a little bit. You've got the blood going on the chest, on the arms, on the gun, like everywhere. It's just a job well done. I love it. It's like, I don't mean this in a bad way when I say this. Don't take this the wrong way when I say simplistic, I guess you could say, right? Like there's not any like crazy build or anything going on, but sometimes you don't always need that. Sometimes it's just portraying it the way that you portrayed it that makes you go, wow, like this is amazing. And kudos to, I feel like we talked about it, and I'm usually really good with my memory, but forgive me, it's been a while. And of course, when I'm doing like those panels, there's like 5, when we're doing the show, right? It's usually like 1 person on the show here in the moment in a recording, maybe 2, right? But on a panel, I'm talking to 5 people at one time. You know what I mean? So like, forgive me, but I feel like we talked about it on the panel. Where you got the suit from and everything, or who did the suit. I know you make a lot of things yourself. I know Jared, Superman Fit, previous guest and cosplay of the week here on the show as well. And he was also on the Projekt panel in New York Comic Con. I know he makes a lot of things as well. You guys work together on stuff. But I don't remember at the time, and it's not listed in the shot that I got. So please, if you're just watching this on Instagram or you're watching on YouTube, write it down in the comments so everybody can know who helped you out with what. And this shot is taken by World of Gwendana, and it takes a team to pull everything together. Perfect shot, very fitting for Punisher as well. And I want to throw up a second one, and I'm throwing it up on the screen right about, oh my God, where did I go? Now, and it's her Invisible Woman. And the caption says, embracing my inner invisible woman in a different dimension. Job well done. Job well done, man. Photo by Ashley Roberts Photos. Edit by Wins, 1998. Everybody knows Wins. Great job. I love like the background where you're at and everything. The way that you've got like the invisible, the invisible, I can't think of what her powers are called right now. I feel like there's an actual like terminology to be used, but like, fading away, going invisible with the hands and everything, and a little bit of the lower half of your body. Job well done. I mean, just again, a perfectly simplistic one and a job well done. Doesn't need a crazy thing. Brings the character forth perfectly. And of course, you fit an Invisible Woman for sure. And lastly, I want to throw up a third one here, and I'm throwing that up on the screen right about now. And this is of her Hawk Girl, which I had the opportunity to shoot. This is the video that I did right after our panel at New York Comic Con. And we talked heavily about this at the panel. She did a lot of this herself. I believe Jared, Superman Fit, helped her with like maybe one thing, I think. Or maybe just like the file, or maybe just helping her print something. I don't recall, but she did a lot of it herself. And then I know, oh God, forgive me, I didn't write it down. I'm so sorry, but I know that the wings are by somebody else, and it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it right now. But editing Chazzy will write it on the screen when it goes up. But this is phenomenal, man. This is just beautifully done from head to toe, like I've told you before. And if nobody's ever seen this, like I said, the video's on the screen right now, so you see it in action as well. She's able to move. She's got the mace. She's got the wings. The wings are just beautifully done, from the helmet to the wig and everything. Just a top-notch job, man. And you got kind of, again, no negativity when I say you got some of the more simplistic things going on with the Punisher, Invisible Woman, and then you've got something, where it's a bigger build, showcasing more of your skills when it comes to that side of things, outside of just being a cosplayer as well. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. I mean, job well done. And we've got guest this week, JCW Cosplay, on the show. In case you didn't tune in to the full episode on YouTube, please go do so right now. And if you're just watching this on Instagram, we're talking to JCW about his Magneto, his Batman, his Khonshu cosplay, and a bunch of other things. And JCW, I'm curious, man, if you got anything that you want to add with Seattle's Beauties cosplays before we wrap this segment up.
Yeah, she kills it in everything that she does.
Mm-hmm.
These 3 are great examples of just how amazing her cosplays are. Like you said, that Punisher is amazing with the kind of battle damage.
Battle damage. There we go. Yes, battle damage. That's the word I was looking for.
It's a good action figure word, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But looking through her profile and seeing some of her posts from before, her Supergirl is amazing.
Right.
Her Captain America, I think she shot it in like Times Square, it looks like, in the background.
Yeah,
I was like, man, it's just like natural lighting and everything in the back just fits it perfectly.
Yep,
like
that's another great one too.
Incredible. And then obviously her Cyclops is really top notch as well too. So everything she puts out is really, really good. So.
Yeah, man, 100%, dude, 100%. If you're not following Seattle's Beauty on Instagram right now, go do it. Click that follow, Seattle's Beauty, spelled exactly how it sounds, because Seattle's Beauty, your Punisher, Invisible Woman, Hawk Girl cosplay of the week for me, and JCW cosplay is amazing. All right, JCW, Jimmy, I want to throw a little bit of a curveball at you, and I want to get into a segment that I like to call Blow Shotgun Questions. And what Shotgun Questions is a little bit more of a rapid fire segment that usually never ends up being that rapid fire. That's okay. We always end up having a little bit of a conversation about it. And like I said, that's okay. Shotgun Questions is nothing serious, a little bit of just a fun questions, a series of maybe 3 to 4 questions depending on time. And like I said, it's just all fun and games. So let's see how much fun we can have when I ask you, is there a cosplay out there that you've always wanted to do, but for whatever reason, you've never pulled the trigger? If so, what would that be?
That's a good question. I think there are 2 actually that come to mind. So I've done just a regular, 1980s, 90s cartoon version of the Shredder.
Nice.
And
Yep.
I've always wanted to do Super Shredder from the second Turtles movie, Secret of the Ooze. Dude. Grew up with that movie. I loved it. I know he's only in the movie for maybe 5 minutes at the very end, but just that design and the look of him just always stuck with me. So that's definitely a dream cosplay of mine that one day I like to do. Yeah. But just it's very daunting. Like I've never made that much of a cosplay before. So I think not knowing where to start, not knowing what kind of materials to work with, whether it's foam or 3D print or fabric or whatnot. So that's definitely one that's up there. And hopefully I'll be able to do one of these days.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
And second one would be Archangel from X-Men.
Oh, dude.
So like the older, like the light blue and like pink version with the metal wings and stuff. Like I've seen some great cosplayers do that one already, and I just haven't. Like I logistically, I just don't even know where to start with wings.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest as well. That's one that's always been in the back of my mind for myself, and I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. You know what I mean? So like,
let's both do it. Let's both do it.
I know, right, dude?
You could be California Archangel. I could be Texas Archangel. So, right?
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I don't know where to begin to make this look the way that I have in my mind and be like, bring forth a good Archangel. You know what I mean? I don't want it to look cheesy. You know what I mean? So that's on the back burner for me for right now.
Back burner. And for me, it's like, well, with the wings, like I kind of want them to be able to expand and then contract, so I can actually get through doors. Right. I think that would be pretty neat.
So. You know who's done that? If you ever want to hit him up and maybe ask for some advice, is Superman Fit, which is Sarah's boyfriend. Superman Fit did that with his Hawkman. Hawkman.
Oh,
right?
Nice.
Is it Hawkman? Why does that not sound right? It's Hawkman, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I'm right.
Hawk Girl, Hawkman.
Yeah, I think I'm right. I don't know why I thought it was different, but yeah, he did that with his Hawkman, and the wings actually like unfold and go up and everything, and they can go back down. And he told me this whole story on the episode that we did. They actually broke, so he doesn't have them anymore. But he was able to pull it off. He was able to do it.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So he knows how to do that. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll definitely hit him up.
One. Those are awesome, dude. Next question. Out of these Batmen, you've got Keaton, Bale, Affleck, Pattinson. You can only choose one, and the rest and their universe cease to exist. Who do you pick?
Easy, Bale.
I knew it.
After you said Bale, I was like, I don't need to hear anyone else.
I knew it right away. I knew it. Yeah. All right. Next question. What are some things that you want to see for the MCU to do with the X-Men in film? And for a quick second, for you to think about, I'll give you some examples. Maybe it's mutants that you want to be focused on. Maybe it's villains that you want to be portrayed. Maybe it's something that you think Disney could learn from their past, whether it be good or bad, and apply or not apply it to the mutants when they make their big screen appearance. What are some things that you want from the MCU for the X-Men in film?
I think right off the top of my head, just comic accurate costumes, with the new Deadpool movie coming out, and people already seeing what Wolverine looks like. It's like, this can work. This can definitely work. Right.
100%.
I love the 2000s, X-Men movies. And they're definitely a formative part of my years growing up and whatnot, but I wish they had gotten the costumes a little bit more closer. Right.
I think they teased us like twice too throughout that, and then just never the next one would come and they would be back in the black suits. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I understand. I mean, it was the times, right? It was post Matrix and whatnot. So everyone wanted black leather and black trench coats and whatnot. But I think that'd be top of my list for when we see them on the big screen. Secondly, I think getting Mr. Sinister in live action would be epic.
Yes.
Right. I mean, he ties so closely to everything X-Men in terms of Scott and Jean and all that. That would be amazing. And just seeing how amazing he was in X-Men '97. Like,
I was just about to say that. Yep.
Yeah, that show has raised the bar for 100%. What a live action X-Men movie should be like in the MCU. And I really hope they pull it off because, if not, I guess we'll always have X-Men 97 in season 2, whenever that comes out, right? So we'll always have that to fall back on.
I guess we'll also see what Deadpool and Wolverine end up doing because I think that's going to be a big jumping off point as well. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. So. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of cameos and whatnot, and hopefully that ties into the future of when the X-Men are properly introduced. We'll get more of that too. So.
Yeah, I think so. Last question, man. If you could time travel to any period, any time period, any era, where would you go and why? And you can have up to 3 different choices.
Oh boy. Okay, that's a good one. I think first of all I go back to the 90s because I'm a kid in the 90s, so I grew up in the 90s, right?
Same.
Just to go back then. I mean, internet sucked and dial up and all that stuff.
Yeah, these kids today, they don't know our struggles, man.
I mean, man, it was make a call or go online.
Exactly.
You gotta choose.
You choose one.
Can't do both at the same time.
Yep.
But 90s, just the nostalgia of it for me is big there.
Would you go back? I got a sidebar question.
Yeah,
would you go back to the 90s at the same age that you were originally, or would you go back as the person you are today and experience it as an adult?
I think go back as the person I am today and experience it as an adult. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, it's tough because, as a kid, it's like you have all these things you want to do, but you don't have the power or time to do them, right? So I think going back as an adult, I'd be able to fully experience the 90s a little bit more. Plus, I've already experienced it as a kid. So
I was just going to say that. So now you're going back experiencing it in a different manner. So
exactly.
Interesting.
Second time frame, I want to go back to see the dinosaurs.
Yes, dude. Honest. Yes. Great pick.
Like, why not, right? Just, I mean, I guess be real careful so I don't, get splashed and whatnot. But
I don't know the logistics here. A lot of people ask me, like, what's the logistics of what's going on here with the time travel? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just asking the questions. I didn't figure out the logistics of it all.
Don't think too deeply into it, right?
I don't know yet. And some people have asked, like, how am I getting back? Hey, dude, that's up to you, man.
You'll get back. You'll be fine. Don't worry about that.
Figure it out. I don't know.
I want to go back and I want to see if they actually have feathers, right? I mean,
dude. Oh, man, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad. I have this conversation with so many people, and some people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, you need to brush up on your dinosaur lore, man. I know, man. I feel the same way.
And I don't know how I feel if I go back and I see that they have feathers, though, right?
Giant T-Rex just looks like a big chicken.
Yeah, exactly, right. Because in my head, it's all Jurassic Park. What's in my head and how they look. So it'll be really life-changing and mind-blowing if I go back and they're completely different, right?
Yeah.
Those two, and then I don't know. I guess like maybe. I don't really have another one, to be honest. Can I go into the future?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you say time travel as in like back in time, or can I go the opposite?
You can go back, you can go forward, you can go anywhere. Yeah, right. A lot of people pick the future. A lot more common, actually. A lot more people are picking the future than when I used to ask this question.
Well, it shows you the state of affairs nowadays.
Exactly, right?
Just move forward 50 years, 100 years.
Let's get out of this and figure out where we're at.
Future, just to see what cool stuff is happening in the future. Like it's incredible. Like just going back to the 90s, like being back to the 90s, like thinking 30 years from the 90s, which is now. I don't think we could envision everything that we do have. Right.
Like
and
we move so fast from that. Yeah.
Like my cell phone has more power in it than a computer from back then that took up the whole room, So what does 30, 40, 50 years from now look like as far as technology and how we're living? And 3D printing is completely new and has totally changed the cosplay game to bring it back to cosplay, right? So what new technology is going to help spur that innovation for cosplaying years down the road that we don't even know about, right? So.
And maybe, just maybe, by then the film industry will pick us to help design the suits.
Cross your fingers.
You know what I mean? Oh man, good picks, man. Good picks. Well, that was shotgun questions. Wow. I want to continue, man. I want to keep it going, dude. Batman. Almost every kid's dream to become Batman at some point in life, right? Whether short-lived or long, mostly every kid's dream, man. And many cosplayers later in life take that childhood dream and often make it a reality. And in a time where cosplay is at an all-time high for a good couple years now, and even more so in the mainstream spotlight, if you will, than ever before, and with so many Batman iterations to choose from, I'd say that we often see iterations of Batfleck commonly. Pattinson here and there, more so since his appearance. The Arkham video game franchise, people cosplay a lot, and many comic suits brought to life, and of course a flurry of others. There's so many. But in my personal opinion, I think something that we see less of is Christian Bale's Dark Knight being cosplayed, and that's exactly what you've done, man. And in an edit here by Pixel Lens, shot by Ronald the Bald, Gotham City in the background, lightning in the sky, you're donning the cowl, the suit, the cape. I mean, it looks absolutely amazing, dude. And from edits by compositors to on-location shots with photographers, you're bringing the Dark Knight to life. And out of all the iterations of Batman, all the suits the Bat has donned, what made you lean towards the direction of the Bale Bat, the Dark Knight trilogy iteration?
Growing up, I watched Michael Keaton's Batman, of course. First two movies, loved them. And then really dove into Batman the Animated Series. That was very pivotal for me. But when I was deciding which Batman to do, it was easy choice. Bale Batman all the way, because the whole Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, that whole trilogy, when it came out, my mind was blown. Because before then, we had gotten other versions of Batman, like the Clooney one and Val Kilmer ones. Yeah, I mean, a little bit more hokey and a little bit more colorful. So kind of harkened back to the darker roots and more gritty and realistic tones of the Batman that I grew up with. And just the movies were incredible. Like, especially Batman Begins, especially Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker. Like that was just incredible. So that really stuck with me, and that became my Batman, my favorite of all the Batman movies. Even when I first started cosplaying back in 2016, like Batman was high on my list for dream cosplays that I wanted to do. Yeah. After getting into it a little bit more with cosplay, I was like, well, I could try to make it, but there's a lot of pieces to it, right? Yeah. It's just something it's a big project, especially with the Bale version where it's all armored up and the different layers and pieces to it. Right. So I picked the brains of a bunch of different Batman cosplayers in the community, and eventually found Shadow Studios FX, I think is their IG handle. Yeah. And they had the perfect blend of a pretty movie accurate representation of the suit that was just caught my eye. So ended up getting the whole suit commissioned by him. The first time I put it on, I was just like, this is I goosebumps. Right? This is like if 9-year-old me could see me now, he'd be like, you're pretty cool. You turned out pretty cool. You're 40, but you're still pretty cool.
You're doing good. You're doing pretty good.
I give myself a little fist bump and be like, all right, did myself proud. So.
Yeah, amazing,
but,
dude.
That version of Bale, I just like Christian Bale as an actor as well too.
Yeah. He's one of the top for sure.
Yeah, he's so versatile in all the things that he does, and he's amazing, and just his portrayal of Batman and Batman and Bruce Wayne. I think he did a great job with both sides of it. Yeah. And the physicality that he got prepped for it too. He's always really on top of that as well too. So it was just for me, it was no brainer. Even with Pattinson, Batman Out, I love that movie too. Even with Affleck, Batman Out, Bale Batman is still top of the list for me, and I don't see him moving on my list anytime soon. So.
Nice. Yeah, man, it's amazing, dude. I mean, it's amazing from the shot with you with the cape open and everything. And then, one of the edits of you on the gargoyle, with the bats in the background and everything. I mean, just kudos to each photographer and editor as well, or any of the photographers or editors and everybody that helped bring that together, because I mean, you just, it's flawless, man. I mean, it's really just a job well done. Same thing with the one by Pixel Lens that I featured you as a cosplay of the week, where you've got the cowl off and everything, and you're inside the that's not his Batcave, right? Is it? What is it again? It's like a warehouse for like his, I don't know. It's like his secondary Batcave. Yeah, it's like where the Batmobile is and everything, and what's his name's down there? I can't remember the names right now. I'm drawing a blank on everything.
Alfred's down there as well too.
Yeah, like everybody's there. It's like the thing. Yeah, it's not the Batcave though. I don't think it's got another name. It's something else. I think
it's too well lit to be the Batcave.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's in the comments like, you motherfuckers. I know exactly what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
fake fan.
Exactly. But I mean, that's a great shot, and I love that one because you have the cowl off. You know what I mean? And a lot of Batman cosplayers, again, nothing wrong with it when I say things like this. They don't really take the cowl off. There's very minimal ones that have the cowl off, and it's just such a cool shot, man. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Do you ever see yourself? You said that you're gonna be that Bat for a long time. But do you ever see yourself donning another cowl, another cape, another suit, another iteration of Batman? Like, has there ever been one on your mind, but you just haven't pulled the trigger on that as well?
I think so. I want to go for something a little bit more flexible. So taking it back to the original suit for the Batman, the Bale Batman, like the original suit from that I got is very high quality, but I can't squat, I can't bend, I can't sit at all.
Okay.
So I was literally walking around at a con and I had to sit. So I just literally leaned back and plopped myself down like a mannequin because there's no mobility in that suit at all. So what I would like is I ended up getting a secondary undersuit that allows me to be a little bit more flexible. So some of the shots and whatnot where I'm actually squatting down or bending down, it's more in that secondary suit where the details aren't quite as good, but at least I can squat down without ripping the suit or hurting myself, right?
Right.
So for another Batman suit, I do want to do, whether it's this year or next year, I hope coming up soon, is I really like Batman Beyond.
Nice, dude. Yes.
So that's a very sleek suit. It's from the cartoon itself. It's you can do it as a onesie, kind of bodysuit like a Spidey suit and whatnot. And that'll allow a lot more mobility and freedom of movement as well too. So
100%. You make a great Batman Beyond, dude. You really would.
Thanks.
Really
it's because I'm super skinny, right? That's why.
how would you go about the cowl? I've seen a couple people do the cowls like differently. Like, do you have an idea? Like, would you have the eyes just be white? Would you have them like LED light up? Like, have you thought about that process, or you're not there yet?
I've thought about it a little bit, and I've seen some makers out there. Actually, XD Props.
Yeah, I think it's XD Props.
Right. Yeah. XD Props. He's the one that made my Magneto helmet, and he has a really nice, kind of more military-looking Batman Beyond helmet or cowl.
Okay. Hell yeah.
And he has LEDs in the light or in the eyes that make him light up red. So that's one I'm seriously considering as well too. So I think I do want something where things light up and it's a little bit more out there for this build. So.
Nice, dude. I can't wait for that. That's going to be sick, man. Batman Beyond is always a cool cosplay to pull off, dude. You mentioned your Magneto, and while we get ready to kind of round things out a little bit, I just want to say that you make an amazing Magneto, man. Like for instance, this edit here by Jude Italian, shot by E-Wide, it's absolutely out of control, dude. Magneto busting through the head of a Sentinel, and this is like, I don't even have the words to describe how perfectly executed this thing is, dude, from everyone from everyone involved, dude. And you mentioned XD props on the helmet, the belt and the shin guards are printed by Friezo Cosplay. I always forget. I'm sorry, man. I always forget how to pronounce the name. While the undersuit is by supergeek_designs_costumes. And while I'm talking, I'll throw up a few other shots of your Magneto, and you do partake in a lot of edits with many of your cosplays, and there isn't anything wrong with that whatsoever. And it's always a team effort from everyone as well. So shout out to every compositor out there that helps bring our dreams and our visions and our stories together and to life that much more. I mean, you guys are absolute legends, man. And when you hop in a suit and you don a cape, you throw on a cowl, that feeling of becoming the character, it's a pretty awesome feeling. And then when you have compositors like Pixel Lens, like Judah, JMD, Yamasaki, like to name just a few, adding their touch and putting you in scenarios that otherwise wouldn't be possible, seeing yourself in a comic-esque way, a movie-esque way. I know how it makes me feel, but I'm curious how it makes you feel. And you kind of touched on it earlier in the episode, but I mean, what does cosplay mean to you? Like, how does it make you feel? And how do you think it's changed your life in a positive way, if it has? Yeah,
that's a great question. Cosplay, there's many levels to cosplay, right? You can just get into it just for the fun of it, throw on the costume, go to con, meet up with friends and whatnot. But for me, it's become a lot more than that. It's become, cosplay really has brought me a kind of second family or second set of friends as well, too.
Yeah.
Just once again, being around like-minded individuals and being able to share in our passions for, to be honest, we're all just, adults running around playing dress up, right? I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It's, to put it simply, but it becomes more than that because there's friendships that develop, there's skills that you develop, there's new things that you're learning all the time about how to make things or how to source things or, hey, this cosplayer is doing it this way. I really like that. I'm going to take a little bit of that, kind of add it to my own, and just being able to share knowledge with, because cosplay, there's always people coming into it. It's, there's always it's always someone's first day in cosplay.
Yeah.
So I like that. For the most part, our community is pretty encouraging with newbies as well too. Like, hey, that's really great. How did you make that? Here's some tips if you want it. Hit me up on IG or we can talk if you have some builds and you want to collab, you want to shoot together. So most people I've met in this community are really open to that. So I think cosplay has helped me kind of bring me out of my shell in terms of, hey, it's okay to like what I like, right?
Yeah.
It's not it's not something I should hide or be ashamed of, because it's we like what we like. Everyone's a little different, and we like what we like, and to be able to find people with common interests has been huge for that.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest way I feel like it's changed my life is it's given me the opportunity to give back to the community as well too. So a lot of the cosplays that I do, sometimes I try to pick more kid-friendly or family-friendly cosplays as well too.
Yeah.
There's an organization that I volunteer with. It's Case for Kindness, and we do different charity events around DFW. A lot of it is for kids in hospitals, or during Christmas time. There's a Santa Cops for kids event in Arlington, Texas, where it's just great being there in costume, whether it's Spider-Man, whether it's Batman. We have a lot of great volunteers for that group as well too, and it's just being able to see the smiles on kids' faces, especially as Spider-Man. Spider-Man was one of my favorites growing up. So imagine a kid coming up to you and seeing Spider-Man in person, and you're there at their level interacting with them. Just how big of a difference that could potentially make in that kid's life. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that with cosplay. I'm beyond grateful. So
100%, man. 100%. And I second a lot of those things too. Like the minute that I got into this community doing the podcast and everything, since day one, even when I had a co-host back in the day, when the show wasn't as developed as it is and as smooth as it is, if I say so myself, today, the one thing that I always did was a cosplay of the week from episode 1 all the way till now. You know what I mean? And that kind of put me into the cosplay community, not ever cosplaying myself until I think it was this year. It was my actual first true cosplay. And but being a part of the community, I can say that like it's pretty positive for the most part. Just like anything in life, there's negativity here and there. There's shitty people here and there. It's anything in life. But I would say for the most part, people are pretty supportive. People are pretty, like, just like you said, and welcoming and everything. And it's probably one of the best communities, I think, in my opinion, that you could be a part of, because at the end of the day, like you said, it's just whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're an actual cosplayer, whether it's me, how I started as a podcaster, giving them a place to talk and a place to highlight them and help them shine a little bit more, whether you're a photographer, an editor, a maker, and so on and so forth. Being any type of inclusion into this community, it's you're all here for kind of the same purpose, and it's like nerdum, geekdom, things that you grew up on loving as a kid, that you still love as an adult, and it's a place where you're not getting shamed for it like you used to. It's really mainstream nowadays, so I don't know if that really exists as much anymore. I'm sure it does for some people, but like it's very mainstream nowadays to love like nerdy stuff and geeky stuff, and even gaming and stuff's not frowned upon these days. Remember in the 90s it was a lot more, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But these things are much more shown in a positive light and have a positive community behind it. And we're kind of all here for the same things. And I think it's one of the best communities to be a part of, if I say so myself, So I share that with you.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And, definitely special shout out to you. I mean, you're making it work, right? You're bringing people together. You're with your podcast, with with all the video production. And
thank you.
You're not just sticking to Cali, right? It's not just Cali cosplayers that you're featuring or having guests for your shows and whatnot. Yeah. You're broadening the horizon, which is, I mean, made me much more aware of all the different cosplayers that are out there. It's really opened up my eyes to, there's this, all these really cool cosplayers on the East Coast and West Coast. And, so because a lot of times we can get very stuck and insular within our community, right? Mm-hmm. Within our community, meaning our geographic location.
Right.
So to be able to have this platform that you have and showcase all these wide variety of creatives, not just cosplayers, but like you said, photographers, editors, just people that are making things, is really a great benefit to this community. Because otherwise, we see stuff on IG, but people put out on social media what we want to put out, right?
Exactly.
That's only half the story, what you see in a person. So having someone on to talk to you and having their personality show, they're like, oh, hey, I didn't know that person liked this, or this. Well, that's cool that they're working on this, or this next. Hey, I want to follow them. I want to see how they're doing, and maybe collab with them if I ever go out there, right? Yeah. So you putting this out there, I feel like is 100% making this community just that much more integrated and coming together, instead of just being apart or having East Coast, West Coast, versus,
exactly, right? Take it back to the 90s. Dr. Dre and Snoop, Biggie and Puff.
That's right. Tupac all the way. Tupac's still alive. Tupac's still alive. He's alive somewhere.
Exactly. Man, thank you for the kind words, man. I really do appreciate that. And it's been great having you, man. We are going to wrap up, dude. I want to give the spotlight to you, man. I want the last few seconds of yours to say whatever's on your mind. Shout out whoever you want to shout out, and just whatever you want to say, man. Whatever you want to say. Last few seconds of yours, man.
Appreciate you. Super honored to be on here talking to you.
Of course.
I'm loving cosplay. I'm never going to stop, or hopefully I won't stop. But I really enjoy the community here at DFW, and there's too many people to name and shout out. But just between the cosplayers, the photographers, the editors that are in DFW braving the heat with me, they're doing their thing, and it's always. It's like one big family reunion every time I go to a con and run into people. Yeah. I might not have seen someone for the past 6 months, but at a con you just hit it right off and you pick up where you left off from before, right? So
exactly.
It's just I'm looking forward to future cons and what other cosplayers bring to the con scene and whatnot. I know a lot of people have lots of big builds coming up to coincide with movies and whatnot, and with the new DC universe coming up too. I'm excited to see how that shapes up and what cosplayers will do with all that stuff too. So
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Like I said, dude, it has been awesome having you here, dude. I welcome you back. Let's let some time go by. Let some new cosplays happen. Let some things happen. Hopefully we get to meet each other in person at a con one day, man. Hopefully we're in the same place at the same time. I'm looking to branch out and not go to I don't know about not go to is maybe not the right words, but I'm looking to also go to some cons that I've never been to. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, out there in Texas, I haven't been to a Florida con yet as well. So I'm looking to kind of do those things hopefully next year, man. So hopefully, man, I'll bring some cosplays myself. Maybe we can have a collab if something lines up. Maybe a Black Mask and a Dark Knight. What could have been? What could have been? Or
Assassin's Creed versus Batman.
You never know, dude. Crossovers. I love things like that, dude. And of course, I'll bring the camera and we can get some videos in, man. So hopefully next year, dude. And then I welcome you back, man. Hopefully we'll have another conversation about whatever else you got going on in your life. In the future, man. In the future. 50 years from now. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, yeah. I'll still look 20.
Exactly, right? You look the exact same.
the Paul Rudd effect.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not, please go follow jcw.cosplay, spelled exactly how it sounds on Instagram. And to everybody tuning in right now, I thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, for doing all of those beautiful things that you do over on youtube.com/Side Projekt Podcast. When you go down, you hit that big red subscribe button. When you do, it goes, and you get 100 sexy Projekt points. Thank you for listening and watching on Spotify, as videos are available on Spotify as well. When you follow and you rate and you do all those things that you do on Spotify, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram at IGHatesChazzy, and everything else you need to find me at. Everything else you need to find me at is on the screen right about now. The heat is killing me, you guys. I'm struggling to get through this. I'm trying to remain professional here, but I'm hot as hell. I'm drinking so much water. It's crazy, man. If you're looking for the podcast as a whole, you can find it on Instagram at Side Projekt Podcast. Remember, that's Project with a K. And don't forget to visit the Side Projekt merch store on sideprojectpodcast.com. For me, for JCW Cosplay, we are going to brave the heat. And we are out of here.